Hey guys, I went to see The Dark Knight Rises the other day, and I thought I would do a little my thoughts video on it to say what I thought of the film. It has been a few days since I've seen it, so my views may be a bit wrong and not what I did think at the time because I haven't recently seen it. But I really did enjoy it. I'm a massive Batman fan. I really do love all of the other films that have been made. I feel a bit weird saying this, but out of the four films that started with Tim Burton, I love the first, the second, and the third film. I do really like number 3. I just think it's really goofy and kind of cool. It's not Batman, but it's a nice little film to watch. I don't like number 4, but number 4's got bat nipples, so who really does like it? Okay, what I'm going to be talking about now is Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. How does it hold up against these two amazing films? After The Dark Knight and before it, I watched Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. And then I watched Rises the next day, and the day after I watched Rises, I watched The Dark Knight again to compare the two to see which film is the best. Now, personally, after watching The Dark Knight again, I think The Dark Knight has a bit more spectacle than Rises. It has a few improvements over Rises, but Rises sums up the whole of the Batman Christopher Nolan universe perfectly. This film is absolutely fantastic. It takes the stories from the first film and the second film, combines the two to make an absolute masterpiece. And while you're watching this, you've probably already seen the film, so I'm not going to spoil anything, but the twist within the film, the big kind of twist at the end, I saw coming because I'm a fan of the books. I knew who the character was before they revealed. I could see that coming a mile away. There was one point in the film where it clicked with me. I was like, "Oh, that's her," which you will know what I'm on about. I recently finished the Batman Arkham City as well. I absolutely love that game. But yeah, Dark Knight Rises is amazing. I mean, it was built up with loads and loads of hype around an amazing advertising campaign. The one bit about the advertising campaign I didn't like was it showed one of the best scenes of the film. So you'd already seen that before the amazingness of it in the film kind of comes through, if that made sense. You already seen it before it happens, and you didn't see it in context. So even though it was cool to watch then, it would have been nicer to see that for the first time in the context of the film. I'm talking, of course, about the football stadium scene. That would have been a lot much better. Not grammatically correct, but whatever. That would have been a hell of a lot better in the film and had more of a reaction if it wasn't in the trailer. And there was one point in the movie where the whole cinema went silent, and that's when the little boy started singing the American national anthem. And for that 5 minutes of the film, there was just a glorious silence in the cinema, and I absolutely loved the fact that everyone was there for this film and they wanted it to be amazing. The spectacle was all there. It was like, yeah, this is really happening. The Batman film is finally here, and it's amazing. How did he do it? Christopher Nolan's amazing. And then I got the same sense of it at the end of the film. The whole last bit of the film is just silent in the cinema, and everything happens, and it's just like, oh my god, he's really done this. The film just is another next level. It sums up everything perfectly, and then the acting in it is tremendous. All the storylines intertwine and disperse. There's a couple of little things that aren't sure about what really happened there. But on the main, for the whole of the film, for 2.5 hours, you really don't feel like you're sat in there for 2.5 hours, but you're loving every minute of it. And one thing I really enjoyed about The Dark Knight Rises was the fact that it didn't feel the need to throw action at the screen. I mean, comparing it to The Dark Knight, a lot of stuff happens in The Dark Knight, a lot of action happens, a lot of really cool spectacle happens. There's only 1 or 2 scenes like that in Rises. The rest of it is story and plot and character development, and that really does help itself base the whole film, and it's really entertaining as a piece of cinema, a piece of storytelling over just some random explosions. The villain in the film, I thought Bane Tom Hardy played an amazing performance as Bane. I wasn't sure about his voice at the first scene of the film where he's in it, but hell, for the rest of the film, he had me like hooked. I really wanted Bane to be amazing, and he was. And you know, basically, if you haven't seen the film, you should definitely go and see it. It sums up the Batman saga perfectly. I mean, each of these films, Begins, Dark Knight, and Rises, all have its flaws. They do. And as much as people don't want to admit it because they're great films, a film can still be great and have flaws. Well, these are good examples of films that are great and have flaws. I'm not saying Rises doesn't have any flaws, but altogether as a package, as a trilogy, all those flaws are just put to rest, kind of thing. You know, if something wasn't really summed up in one film like the first one, it would be summed up slightly in Rises. You know, all of the things come together and the film is amazing. Honestly, Rises, I'd rate a 9 out of 10. Dark Knight, 9 out of 10. Begins, 8 out of 10. But when you watch all of them together, they are definitely one of the best experiences in cinema that I have seen. And so, as a trilogy, they are 10 out of 10 material. Yeah. That is my little thoughts of the film. I will be doing a review of Begins, Dark Knight, and Rises when I do get a copy of Rises on Blu-ray, and I'm going to repurchase these on Blu-ray just to have them because they're so just great films. Thanks for watching this little thing. Really appreciate it. Bye.